Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games here, diving back into another Malifaux model, this time the Old Major. Or maybe it's just Old Major, I'm not 100% on that. So Rosy skin 09068. So Old Major here is Ulix's best pig, and he's a henchman. So imagine the humiliation of being a gremlin taking orders from Bacon here. He's a nice big brush here. Still have it quicker. Yep. With the Old Major as a henchman, it is possible to do at least a small game of nothing but pigs. Which brings to mind both the book Animal Farm, which I've never read, but I've heard about how it goes. And just the concept of a bunch of pigs wandering into a town and taking it over. I think there was an episode of The Muppet Show kind of like that. Alright, so that's pretty good. And I'm going to have to let that dry before moving on, but there's only a few base coats in general on the Old Major here, so... Alright. Next up, 09002 Deep Red. Just a little bit. This just goes, his tongue just lolling out of the side of his mouth and inside his mouth there. Oh, that's a tusk. Okay. Thought he had a second tongue there for a second. Oh boy. Alright. Next up, Shield Brown 09161. Not a lot of this is needed either. Just got a little hair, eyebrows, and some tufts along the back, but not a lot, just a little. And then Imperial Purple 09023. This one's plugged up. That should be enough. And Old Major, I double-checked the name of it, is just Old Major. There's no "the" about it. He's got a medal hanging off his neck. So we'll just get the ribbon here. Maybe like a first prize medal or something like that, but it's more fun to think the Old Major earned this through a campaign of brutal conquest. And then Yellowed Bone 09143. These are again all Reaper Master series. Description will list everything I use. Get his hooves. Like that. So pink still isn't dry for some reason. That's odd. Whatever. And then the red is just barely dry enough to do this. His teeth. And yeah, I believe most pigs don't have fangs like this, but the native fauna of Malifaux is much more monstrous than it is in the real world. Then 09050 Antique Gold. Okay, and I'm going to need to let that dry before I hit the base and get ready for shading. Okay, Woodstain Brown 09160. This is the last base coat. I normally use a larger brush, but I have to be a little more careful based on the way Old Major is sitting. I think on Ulix I went a little too far by doing 2 layers of shading on the base, so this time I'll only do 1. See how it turns out. Let's see here. And it looks like some of that flesh tone still hasn't dried yet after all this time. It's kind of funny. Huh. Again, all this is custom sculpted. I did it myself, the basing anyway. But since the first sculpting video I didn't really go anywhere, I just decided it was not worth my time to keep doing more of those. So if demand starts to come up for that, though, I will reconsider. Okay, once that's dry, I can start shading. Okay, time to start shading. And Woodstain Brown again, 09160. Just a tiny dot because there's only a little bit of the hair on him. Then I'll go ahead and get the tongue, I think. 09001 red brick. The gremlins and pigs in Malifaux breed very fast, but they are in a predator-predator relationship where they eat each other en masse and keep each other's numbers in check. This exists in spite of the fact that the gremlins are raising pigs now. 09049 Ancient Bronze. Oh, was this one shot too? Nope, got enough. Just need a bit for that metal of his. Okay, and I'm going to have to let that dry for a bit before moving on to the hooves and then the skin and the base. This thing recording? Okay. 09022 Nightshade Purple. Gotta love the joys of technical difficulties, right? Okay, this one's really plugged up. Okay, this is going to get a little irritating. There we go. Little dots, all I need. And stained ivory 09142. Again, you want about half paint, half water. Just dot it on over the teeth. If the little red shows through, that's fine. This guy's a meat eater anyway. I don't omnivore to be perfectly accurate, but okay, that's just going to leave the flesh tone and the base. There's one more bit I can do. Pure white 09039. Just a little dot. I'm going to go ahead and do a little jewel in the center of Old Major's metal. Just take that pure white and just dot it into that center area there. Okay, let it dry and move on. Let's see, where is it? Rosy Shadow 09067. Just about done. This is a shorter video as well. Aside from the fact that I'm only doing one model this time, it's a much simpler color scheme. Though he does have quite a bit of surface area to cover. I have to be cautious not to nick what I've done before. That got into the purple there. Let's just blot that out with a towel. That's why I keep it handy. Now I have tried using a regular towel just for the sake of using things I can reuse, but it did not work out quite as well. So let's just blot that out a bit. So it's just going to get a little tricky, I suppose is the right word. So plot out again near the metal. I have to touch up the purple there. But what I can still do is take blood red 09003, just the tiniest dot of it. Thin this out a lot more than usual, and just dot the center of that jewel. Well, this flesh tone sure is liking to soak into the purple here. Let's just try to fix that right quick here. See what happens. Call it an experiment. Maybe this seeps into the flesh, maybe it doesn't, we'll just see. Alright. That's just going to leave the base. Looks like I missed a bit of the ear here. I'll just take care of that real quick. But that's just going to leave the mud on the base, and then I can start highlighting. Let's get his eyes, start his eyes at 09039. This is the sclera, I think is the right word. I'm still not entirely certain if I'm pronouncing that right, but trying to use the anatomical term for the whites of the eyes here. Dot that in. Give him pupils later, dot that in. Still getting the hang of colored eyes, but okay. I'm going to take that ancient bronze again and just touch up the metal, because that flesh tone got a little out of hand, which it happens. It happens. I wouldn't stress too much when it does. Let's just touch up the Nightshade Purple again as well. The first attempt to touch it up didn't work. You just don't be afraid to experiment. That's the only way you ever grow. Okay. Now pure black 09037. Gonna thin this out a lot more than usual. Unlike Helix, I'm going to just do just the black for the shader and not the gray. Don't think that worked at all that great. Again, experiment, try new things. Not all your experiments are going to work out, but sometimes they will, and you might end up with something not really amazing. It looks like part of this flesh tone shading still isn't dry. Alright, it's dry enough to work with at least, so we'll just take what I can get there. Alright. Once that dries, I can get his pupils and do the highlighting and details. And, yeah, finish up. Okay, well, that took a while to dry. 09037 pure black again. Just a tiny dot for the pupils. This ball has bad threads on it, so it doesn't screw back shut very well. It's nothing of consequence, really. Then blood red 09003. It's getting, oh, this one's plugged up. I need just a tiny dot for the highlighting on the tongue. Then 09144 creamy ivory. Concerning myself mostly with the most readily visible surfaces. Make sure my brush is nice and dry first. Now, I've been watching a lot of the Muppets lately, but now that I've got paint on the old Major finally, he really does have a Muppet-esque quality to him, especially in the expression. Okay, yeah, that black in the hoof did not dry properly still. Let's see if that fixes it. It's just disappointing. Okay. Rosy highlight 09069. And yeah, when I say old Major's expression is reminiscent of the Muppets, specifically, it reminds me of Muppets either before or immediately after eating something, or rather someone. And Jim Henson's philosophy when you get yourself into a corner, blow something up, eat something, or just throw penguins everywhere, apparently. If you hear that music again, I only live a few blocks away from a high school, so... Driftwood Brown 09162. Going to use a smaller brush for this one. And then 09024 Amethyst Purple. Go ahead and, oh, yeah, that one's fine. Again, going against the grain, going against the raised areas, gives maximum effect when highlighting with the dry brush technique here. And 09051 New Gold. My brush may be a bit wet. Try to blot that out and try again. It's better. Now just the base with Shield Brown 09161. That looks a little bit better than I did on Ulix. Maybe I'll try it a different way again next time. And finishing up with Olive Green 09035. And being cautious as I want to get the edge of the base and not the basing itself. And just as I say that, I nearly knock out my water cup. Okay. And that is that. Old Major. We're gonna get this guy in frame. Old Major from Malifaux. Got more of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Hog Wild box set coming up. Until next time, I am Ian Stook with Mastermind Games, signing out.